Valve has been hard at work the past 6 months or so, working on getting out the Steam Deck's biggest update yet, version 3.5. And if the hype is to be believed, this update should have my Steam Deck giving me a friendly reach around while I play Baldurs Gate 3. That said, I'm always skeptical. The hardware is the hardware, and a 15-watt chip has its limits. There's no magic pixie dust that gaming can gently blow into anyone's Steam Deck and make it suddenly play Cyberpunk at 4K as I gently caress his thick beard and he holds me tight, telling me it's okay and I'm safe in his arms. Anyway, so I decided to do some testing and see what's different, and if any of the much hyped performance changes actually exist. Starting off with Cyberpunk, at low presets in 720p, we get an average of 47 FPS with the old Deck OS 3.4. With 3.5, we see a bump up to 49 frames per second. That's about a 3 to 4% gain of average FPS.
Not great, not terrible.
Minimums were a bit lower, but that could be attributed to run-to-run variance as there was no noticeable stuttering during the benchmark. Next was Baldur's Gate 3. I found a spot near the crashed Mind Flayer ship with plenty of particle and smoke effects. Average frame rates are about 34-ish frames per second, and checking this same spot on 3.5, it's really the same. Maybe an extra frame per second, but for all intents and purposes, this is largely a push. How about some emulation? Tears of the Kingdom running on OS 3.4 seems to be averaging about 37 to 38 frames per second, and bumping up to OS 3.5, and yeah, this seems to be running at 39 to 40, and that's definitely a measurable improvement of about 5%. Not amazing, but definitely a bump up in performance. And finally, the big one, Starfield. Performance on 3.4 in the city is miserable, even on lowest settings at 720p. The game can't even come close to 30 FPS. After updating to 3.5, the performance is... it's mostly the same. You know what, screw it, this place isn't a fair representation of most of the game. Hell, this place has its way with my RTX 3080.
Shoo! Shoo! Get away! Oh, you're a feisty potato.
Let's try a regular planet, the place where you're going to be spending most of the game. Okay, back to OS 3.4, and on this random planet, we are definitely looking at a playable 36-ish frames per second with a few dips into the high 20s. Bumping up to OS 3.5, and ooh, will you look at that? Alright, that is a definite noticeable increase. Averages look to be about 40 to 41 with some dips into the low to mid 30s, and that equates to about a 10 to 12% increase in average FPS. This is the kind of performance increase that definitely will be noticeable during gameplay. Good job polishing this Todd turd, Valve. So that's it. While not magic, this update definitely has some performance increases for some of the biggest games released this year. If you have the deck, you should definitely update to OS version 3.5. It's currently in the Steam Deck preview channel, which means there may be a few bugs, but there's really no reason not to update to it for some free
Sorry for that, fellow gamers. While you at it, you should buy the new epic spacefaring simulator game by Bethesda Studios called Starfield. And again on Xbox. And soon for Nintendo Switch. And then the deluxe edition. And then the special edition that has all the DLC. Do it. Buy now.